foot tapping on the dash. We can take the back roads, no one else around. Hit my arm when I go too fast. It's a good morning. It's a good morning.
Oh, we're working at one today. Okay, so we started off obviously doing groundwork because she has not been worked in a while. Just did some lunging with her. I didn't film all of it, but she was rearing and crow hopping and having a blast about partway into her lunging session. So I'm glad she got all of that out. Asking her to speed to a canter here. A little frisky. Okay, so here I sped up saddling her. I figured she'd be a little jumpy because she hasn't been saddled since last year, but actually she just stood there and did amazing. I went through and did some checks like you do when you do your first saddling on a young colt that hasn't been started yet, and she did fantastic with this. So I do like that I can lunge her, tack her up. She'll probably throw a little bit of bucking, a little bit of crow hopping, but you can't blame her if she hasn't had tack on for about a year. Send her out and let's get those feet moving and see how she feels about saddle. I love that she's just going calmly and just walking. She's not super worked up about it. Ask for a trot here. I loved that move out, and honestly she's trotting a lot slower than she typically does, so I do love that she's chilling out a little bit. She's not having to be a speed demon as much. Let's go to the canter. Little crow hop there, not much. Gonna ask her to go. There she goes. Beautiful canter. She's having trouble holding it because she's excited and she's fresh. That's fine. I'm just going to keep asking her to go until she relaxes a little bit. Change her direction here. Get her paying attention. She gets very happy and excited there. It's okay. Just move her out and get her back into the canter and wait for her to smooth out a little bit. She thought I was asking her to switch there. I wasn't. Continue on. A little better right there. Holding herself up a little bit. Actually using her body, and a nice stop. So here, I'm going to go through and just do some fast changes of direction. Let that saddle kind of grab her a little bit at the canter and make sure she ain't going to panic about it. I always, when they haven't been worked in a while, kind of go through just like I would a young horse its first few saddlings. Just to check off all my boxes if something went wrong that I did check everything. She kind of zooming around, and that's the main reason that I went and did this, because a few seconds ago you guys seen her just going nice and chill. She got excited as time went on, and I asked for more direction changes, so that's why we ended up here. There, she's starting to relax just a little bit, slow herself down, so I stop her and bring her on in. So again, she doesn't really need all these checks. It's more for myself because I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to her. And so I'll go through and I'll get halfway on and off a few times, tap the other side, just doing all my checks. Bounce around, pull on the saddle a little bit. Trying to get her head up here so I can get on up. She moves over a little bit, that's okay. She was kind of on a slant, so I hopped off, kind of let her get her own footing back underneath her, and I'll try it again. We are on a hill, so if she's gonna need to step over, that's fine. There she goes. I'm gonna tap all over her, play with the stirrups, hold my feet out, Just making sure. I'd rather go through and do all this and nothing happen than not do it, skip a step, and then something happens. Hop up here again. Love on her, let her see me out of both eyes. She don't seem bothered. She kept playing with the bit. So I start kicking my legs there. She didn't care. Hop on off. Give her some attention. So we get all the way on now. And here's kind of where my anxiety will take over. So I'm going to flex her back and forth a few times. I'm not just going to automatically move her out. I'm going to wiggle in my saddle, touch her all over. Again, just like a young colt that hasn't been ridden before, you're going to go through and make sure that they're okay at the standstill with you moving around up there before you just walk them off. And I don't know what goes on right here, but I'm flexing her. She's doing good. And I go to ask her to flex again. And she doesn't do anything horrible, but I don't know why. It made my anxiety go through the roof. You can see I'm loving on her, trying to get her to relax a little, because she does look a little worried, but she doesn't look completely like I'm going to freak out kind of worried. So I go to flex her, and I ask her to the other side. She flexes, and then just throws her head up, and kind of leans, and then gets all tense and backs up a little bit. I do not know why she did that. I don't know if it shocked her that I asked again. I don't know, but my anxiety was just telling me to get off. So what I actually did was go and bit her up a little bit and send her back out, because I was thinking maybe it's the bit. She hasn't had one in a while, so maybe she was kind of fighting with it a little bit. So instead of just getting off because I got scared of pretty much nothing, I wanted to make sure I worked her. I didn't want to just hop off and put her up. So again, just did some bitting up with her, and she played with the bit a little bit. She ended up relaxing so much that I didn't film it, but when I went to take off the bridle, she actually wouldn't let go of the bit. Like, the whole bridle's hanging off her face, and she's just hanging onto the bit. So that's okay. We have other days to work too. Fear sucks. Anxiety really, really sucks. Especially when this girl hasn't done anything to deserve me being afraid of her. What I don't understand is in a round pen in the middle of winter with nothing on her, I can hop on her bareback and I'm fine if she's just walking around. But I put the saddle on and I don't know, like right now I'm trying not to cry. I'm all shaky and it's like I get tense and so she gets tense, and then I had to not continue on her because I was anxious, and so that's just gonna feed to her. If she's already just a little tight, like she was not like super stressed out or anything, but I could just feel the tension on her as well. So that would have been a blow up session pretty much. That would have just set it for failure. So instead of just getting off and turning her loose and teaching her that if you are just a little tense, I'm just going to turn you loose, since what she did was when I picked up that rein, she just kind of jumped a bit, and that's what made my anxiety go through the roof for whatever reason. The most this horse has ever done with me is crow hop, kick out a little bit, and pull through the bit. Like, she's never reared, she's never rolled on top of me, bucked me off, nothing. So I don't know why she gives me so much anxiety. I don't know if it's because she's got so much energy and she's a go, go, go horse, and I do like to canter a lot, but it's the feeling of not being able to slow her down that makes me not want to let her run. It makes me want to sell her to somebody who can handle what, you know, what she's got, the gas pedal that she's got. It's hard. It's very hard. She didn't do anything, but I also don't want to turn her loose on the note that, you know, you felt a little tense, so I'm going to hop off, because that's just going to teach her if you're tense, rider's going to get off. So that is why I bitted her up and did some work. She got some good sweating on her, but now I feel so bad because it just went from like 80 and sunny to probably 70s and 29-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm gonna walk her out and dry her a little bit because she's starting to shake a little bit. She got a sweat on her. So what I'm gonna do to help her out a little bit is I'm gonna walk her around. I have a towel in the truck. I'm gonna help dry her off a little bit. And I'm gonna give her some alfalfa pellets just to give her something good and rich in her tummy. I don't know. It's hard because there's times that I want to sell her and find something that suits me better. But I also don't want to give up on her because she hasn't done anything. It's just my anxiety, my fear. I toweled her off as much as I could. She's dry now. A little damp in some spots, but mostly dry. Brushed her down. She's not shivering now. I know, Mama. It went from 80 to 70 with high winds, huh?